Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Innkeeper today, playing some Stonehearth. I'm checking out the latest Steam branch update, being the build 1658. It has released level ups, which is pretty fantastic, and some statistics screens, as long as some other small little bits, including a new window design, which I can show you right now, in fact. Let's go ahead and do that. Window and door design, that is. Looks very nice. Look at it. It's very dwarven, which looks pretty cool. It looks like it's slightly stronger, maybe. There's a little lock there. I imagine this is going to be made out of a slightly, like, made out of wood and then maybe stone as well, because it looks like it's sort of put together with a bit of stone as well. Hopefully they do get around to that, because at the moment I don't think stone has any use. Merv, why'd you move around now? Apologies about that. I'm trying to make a quick video, by the way. Last video I said I'd do 10 minutes and it ended up being 37 minutes. So this is basically going to be me just sharing my thoughts and opinions. But I like this. Some people didn't like the fact that they were adding sort of like little bits like that, like new doors and windows and that lot. I like how they do that, you know, offers more customizability, and it's just a small thing that they can add. It gets the art department to do stuff, I imagine. So, well, if they were to have an art department, I'm not too sure how it works there, but I imagine they have a graphic designer since it's so specific. Probably the same here, actually. This door actually looks stronger, but still, there's that. And then you got your diamond window design. Stylish. I like it. But yeah, leveling up on trappers. Let's just get this going. The trapper has leveled up. I mean, he hasn't leveled up. I've gone back to a point because I want to show you what it looks like when he levels up. But what are you guys doing? Nothing. I need to get you to do something. Let's just build a house real quick. Now, I have actually been going a little bit mad on these housing building designs, and I want to see if they actually get around to building this. Unfortunately, there is a bit of wood up here, but you can build a stair to go up to the roof, which is really awesome. I didn't know you could do that. I just figured that out now. Well, a little while ago, obviously. So I'm trying to get them to build houses in weird places. Now, I did try to do this first, and it didn't work. They just sort of stopped building it. It did this. Like, this is exactly what it looked like before, and then they stopped. I'm not too sure what they're going to do now. Are they going to pick up more wood, or they just stop building this completely? Now, I think it's because they try and build outside of the area. That's what they try and do instead of building inside. If they get around to doing that, that'd be fantastic. So I want to make these, like, mental housing designs that just, like, look really weird, but in a cool way. Like, I want full reign on my ability to... Ah, here we go. So the trapper has achieved level 1. They also get a little bonus here if they move a lot, which is pretty great. So that might be a bonus if they move a lot. I'm not too sure. Do the other guys have this bonus? Doesn't look like it. This guy has just got increased combat training. It might be because the trapper just, you know, needs to move fast. I imagine that's what the case is. We also need to make some beds. Let's just do that real quick. Also, this feels a bit better. I'm not too sure if I remember these dressers and desks. I'm sure they were there before. I think they're just there for sort of, you know, a little bit of added furniture. But I'm not too sure if we can actually use them as something in the future. Maybe they can have a storage sort of use. And maybe they're assigned to a particular person that, you know, randomly assigns it. Maybe if that person's the first one in the house. Also, the search thing works. But yeah, that's pretty great. I haven't really done anything with this spindle because it basically just helps you make cloth that makes beds and these chairs. That's basically it. We're just going to make some of these not so great beds. Now, the thing I kind of want to change with this Carpenter's Workshop is the fact that we have to do this. Keep this in here, don't get me wrong, because I don't want to, like, if I have to make 20 beds, then, you know, I don't want to keep doing this. But this is the problem here. If I already have the bed inside the builder, then just, like, sort of attach it to that schedule, as it were, because it just sort of, it's a bit too messy, and I have to do this as well, which is a bit, I'd rather just, like, right-click on it and it would get rid of it rather than drag it down. That seems like a pointless functionality in my opinion. It looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather just right click on it. It saves time, to be honest with you. I mean, I have a mouse, I don't have a pad or anything. I don't need to drag it down. This system, though, it works. Don't get me wrong, it, you know, build 20 beds. I don't need to build 20 beds. Also, the font size is a bit big there, but oh well. Nitpicking, and then just drag it down. But what I would like to do is if I were to add, you know, 2 more there, then it would add the equivalent amount of what I've already got in the first schedule, if that makes sense, of that particular sort of tool. It just makes it a bit cleaner. It means if I only want to make 3 beds, then I can basically, instead of doing this, if I want to make 3 chairs, instead of doing this and then doing this and then doing that. I kind of feel like it would just be easier just to do this. I just feel like it's a bit quicker anyway, and then it adds it into the same slot. It's a small thing, nitpicking, as I were, but yes, the sapper has in fact leveled up. So what we do is I actually should show you this selection system as well. So if you want to make them choose a job, or if you want to choose a job for them, it brings up this little sort of web, as it were. And these, you know, we can't do all of these at the moment. We have got a footman, a farmer, a trapper, and a carpenter. Miner, you can't get a miner yet, you can't get a mason yet, you can't get a blacksmith. You do require tools, which all require the use of another class in order to obtain that tool. Primarily the carpenter, because they seem to be the jack of all trades. Well, not the jack of all trades, but the sort of the unlocker, as it were, that gives you access to all of these classes via the tools that they create. You cannot currently create your own carpenters, which means if your carpenter dies, you lose the carpentry skill forever. I believe. I don't think they drop their sort of... Actually, I'm pretty sure they do drop the tool that they were assigned to. That might be the case. I may be wrong there. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I wouldn't write something like that down anyway. But yeah, that's sort of another thing, if that were to be the case. But this is a cool system. I'm not too sure how they can really improve upon this in any way, to be honest with you, other than maybe just some cool sounds or something. That's basically it. They have actually improved the sound design. I'm not too sure, but if you listen, it might be a bit too quiet, but they have added a bit of music. I'm not too sure if that was in before last time when I created the Alpha 5 update video, but I don't remember it. It's nice music though. It reminds me of Timber and Stone. That sort of nice and calming village building kind of thing, and then also changes, I believe, when they go into combat. I'm playing on peaceful right now, so don't expect to have any combat. I don't think that's changed at all. But, you know, I don't really care that much on the combat. Just the building. You know, just more building and more sort of player interaction with these guys. What I would also like is if these footmen were fully controllable. Like, if I could move them around sort of like in a sort of RTS kind of style. And then maybe if I right-click on them, it'll bring up sort of a circle or something like that, where I could assign them to do things, you know, like patrol, and then I can set a patrol route. Speaking about patrol routes, well, I'll start on that again, because I'm making too many tangents here. Patrol routes, maybe guard positions, stuff like that. I think it would be easier to do that, but of course, maybe having a separate window would be easier for making them do patrols and stuff like that. That'd be pretty interesting. Maybe they just search in a radius. Because at the moment, them just moving around just sort of randomly, it's just a bit arbitrary. I wouldn't say them as random, but yeah, that's basically it. I'd rather just have them stuck to one position. But yeah, that would be pretty interesting. And yeah, I'm not too sure what these guys would really go into. I actually want to look at what they could possibly go on into in this sort of skill tree here. So I imagine this could be like, this one would be like an archer, and then maybe this one could be a captain class. And I imagine you would probably need this footman to actually upgrade to this class. I imagine that's how it works. I'm not too sure what the farmer would promote into. A herder, maybe? That makes a lot of sense. The trapper probably herds into sort of more forms of gathering food. I'm not too sure how that would change it, what else there really is, but there's probably something. The miner, I'm not too sure. What would the miner go into? Like, sort of an artist, like someone. Now, we've got a chisel guy here, though. Got a mason, so he does a lot of that stuff. I really don't know what the miner would go into. Warden. Not really warden, but someone sort of an architect, an overlayer, something like that. That'd be fairly interesting. The blacksmith, I imagine, goes into sort of deeper levels of crafting, as it were. Maybe some more mythical crafting, maybe a little bit more scientific version, and then maybe one that's more culturally sort of acceptable, as it were. That'd be pretty interesting. And then the mason, I'm not too sure, and the carpenter, I have absolutely no idea. But that's sort of my idea of what it all goes into. And once again, you probably have to have this in order to actually upgrade to that. Yeah. But maybe it's the case that they have to be a certain level themselves in order to actually upgrade. Which let me start that again. Which would be pretty cool. I'm rushing this. I'm rushing it. I have no reason to rush it. The longer the video, you know. So yeah, let's have a look at this sapper. So here we go. We've got a nice little menu here. This actually has been implemented fairly well. It looks nice. What I would like is for this to have an accessibility in many places. Because currently you can only access it from this menu by clicking these little sigils here. But you can't access it if I were to double-click their name or right-click their name or anything like that. I can't access it like that. I could double-click them, right-click them, middle-click them. at the moment, I can't seem to find any way to access it. Multiple ways of accessing would improve the functionality, I think. But doing this is... It's okay, but I can imagine getting a bit tedious after a little while. Also, I can't seem to switch between them easily. I have to sort of just do that. At least there's a window for it. It also shows what they're wearing, which is pretty cool. Also, their body and their spirit and their mind has been fully implemented. I imagine this works in these sort of ways. Basically, the mind improves their experience bonus, I imagine. Body, as you see right here, improves their amount of health. And this has been implemented. This guy has 120 health. This person only has 70 health because they're only level 1 in this body. I'm not too sure if these get improved, depending on how good they are at a certain subject. I can't imagine it will, but I imagine some people are just going to be, like, really good at something else and just really bad at others. So you got to, like, choose wisely of what they should be. Like, the sword guy right now is a terrible class for being level 1 body. But the thing is, he's level 1 body, and the person that's... Who is the other level 1? You see level 3 right here, but they've only got 90 health, so I'm not too sure if that really does work out. It looks like it maybe just increases their resistances. I'm not too sure. And then you got Spirit, which looks like it just sort of affects the morale and how easily they get depressed or something like that. I'm not too sure if that may also affect how easily they are to become happy. And, you know, I'm not too sure. These are all sort of random assumptions. Also, apparently, travel level 1. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. So, yeah, you can also... I should go back into this. Check out their job abilities, which is basically... This is the footman. Wrong class. Yeah, so basically you can see what their next level is, when they're going to unlock it. I'm not too yeah, the experience, I guess, is right here. We should speed it up so we can see them actually achieving this experience. It looks like they should, yeah, 20 experience. So it does take a little while for them to level up, but as you can see, it is showing the sort of tree. I'm not too sure how varied this is, and whether maybe we can select for them to have particular upgrades when they level up. Like, maybe they have a small skill point to spend, and we can put them in them too. Maybe that's a bit too much, you know, sort of managing managing of all the people. But maybe there's like a random option or a normal option where it just does it sort of significantly. But it would be pretty interesting, like make someone that's particularly good at doing one thing. I'm not too sure once again. And then you got your attributes, which is sort of what they're all doing. Got speed of 77, which is, I imagine, pretty good. What I'd like is if I selected one of these while in this menu, that it would sort of change it to that person's menu. I'm not too sure if that were to really work. But it would be pretty cool. And then you've got their morale, which is sort of, you know, their happiness, which is pretty great. So yeah, it's sort of a neat system. It's looking good. I feel like it is looking good. Anyway, definitely improving. Definitely showing some neat mechanics and some neat ideas. It looks nice as well. But I would just primarily, at the moment, need more functionality with the building. Currently, it is still a bit, you know, we've got to wait, give it a little while, and eventually it will get somewhere. But I don't like these sort of areas here, because you can't build any structures within it. And I imagine it's because you'd want people to walk around it. It's the same here. There's the same sort of no-build zone in this corners here, but they're not rendered for some reason. I tried to build in the corners before and it didn't work. I would just like to build some other stuff around it that's maybe going up. It's a bit interesting, because what I wanted to do previously was make sort of a Tudor house over here, which would... oh, no. Don't want to do that. Also, you can do... Oh, I'll show that in a minute. So I wanted to make a Tudor house. Do this, as you can see. Make a nice roof for it. Make it go fairly high up. It's interesting. Get rid of these bits. Actually, that goes the weird... That's a weird direction. Let's do it like this. That's much better. Make some cool windows. There we are. Not just how they get in. I guess you'd make like a door here, and then maybe a stairs or something, or a ladder. That's how they get in. What I'd also like is to put windows on the roof, and that would form properly. That would look pretty neat. I like that. But yeah, and then I wanted to make some areas underneath, but I couldn't. I couldn't really do that. It was a bit unfortunate. Because look, the areas are blocked here, so it doesn't look like it makes sense. That's why I didn't like it. It doesn't matter anyway, because they won't build this. Like, if I start building now, they won't do it. Because it's in an awkward place where they don't have the ability to build it. Also, this scaffolding looks like it's a bit stuck. They also stopped building this, which doesn't help at all, I guess. that is sort of another add-on there that doesn't help too much. Also, when I tried to get them to build this ladder, the game crashed on a tree. Which is interesting. I'm not just sure why that happened, but it did, and I couldn't go back into it, which is why I'm all the way back at this point. But yeah, this is it. This has been Stonehearth, ladies and gentlemen. That's me sort of offering some ideas. Sorry if I found a sound a little bit jittery. It's just been a long day, that's all. Should be fine, though. I've been looking forward to record this all day, though. I will not lie. As soon as I saw that update, I was like, oh, leveling up. Let's go play it. Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. If you have any suggestions, anything that I may have missed, don't feel free. Don't feel free. No, feel free to comment below. That'd be pretty fantastic. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. I feel like I've discussed a pretty decent amount on what I think has happened with this update. It's been a pretty good one, though. Update 1658. This has been leveling up, primarily, and it's been shown to work fairly well. It looks very interesting. Hopefully they implement it further. Next thing, though, mining. That should be fantastic. But yeah, get this building sorted out, because I want to, like, go nuts. I want to make, like, a cool, weird, blocky wizard tower that's just ridiculous. I'm not too sure what the height limit would be, but I imagine it would be, like, the highest block in the mountains. That's probably what the height limit would be. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time for some more Stonehearth. Bye-bye.